Hi, everybody. I'm Alyce-Kay Ruckelshaus from Threshold of Hineni and the Widow Ruckelshaus. And since I can't do a Bible study yet today, I thought that I would share with you about one of my drawings. I often get questions about my drawings, and so I thought that I would share this one with you. This one happens to take place in our church, in a Catholic church, but the ideas here are not just for Catholics. I'll explain some of what's going on here for those of you who aren't Catholics that you kind of know. This was a sketch that I did originally before Mass one weekday morning, and two little boys whose names I've crossed out here, and I've also crossed out the name of our church just for privacy's sake. They were setting up. They were the altar servers that day, as you can see from their clothes. That's kind of like a white lacy kind of thing over a black, I think it's a cassock. I'm not really sure what it's called. But they were setting up for Mass. And so anyway, so here, let me explain just a little bit about what you see there. There's 6 candles. There are always 6 candles up there, but sometimes only 2 get lit, sometimes 4, sometimes 6. And there is a method to the madness, but I don't understand it yet, of like how they choose how many candles to light. But on this particular day, it was 6. And what just really, really struck me about that particular day was that they were being so careful and spacing those candles out perfectly. In fact, one of the ladies gave them a little leveler, and they were using that both to space the candles and to make sure that they were level. And it was just so sweet, not just in a childlike way, but sweet in a adoring Jesus way. Because while God knows that we aren't perfect and he doesn't really expect that of us, whenever we can do just a little bit more to make our love more pure and more perfect, that's just really wonderful. And he loves that. And it was like just watching these little boys, and it reminded me of a quote from Saint Therese, do small things with great love. So I'll talk about that in a minute, but let me just kind of go through the picture here and show you what all is in it. So this is the bottom part of our stained glass window that's up in the front of the church. And so you can't really see what this is. It's a crucifix. And I love it because Jesus, he's on the cross there, but the way that he's shown, it also looks like he's victorious and maybe even resurrected. And so it's really beautiful because it has all of that in one place. And so, I don't know, that's just really touching to me. And then these flowers were just they were just for pretty. Of course, there's a cross that is the base for each of them. And as I was making this, I just thought about how the cross, how Jesus crucified and risen is the foundation for the beauty of our faith. And then here I added a cat. Now we do not have cats in our church. I kind of don't think they would be allowed, but I could be wrong. But I don't think they would be allowed. Um, and then let's see. So one other thing about the picture here of the boys with the candles and everything, and I talked to the boys about this one time because it was just so inspiring to me. The whole time that they're serving at the altar, they're so respectful and reverent, and it just, I still, because I'm kind of new to this, I don't really understand everything about altar servers, but to me it was like they're serving God, they're serving the priest by helping him out, bringing things to him and stuff. And it's just really neat because there's a lot of ritual that goes with that. Like the priest bows to them and they bow to him, and acknowledging each other. And I know that the priest says some quiet prayers when he's doing different things, like when they're holding the water and a little towel for him to dry his hands. I know that there's a prayer that he says with that and stuff. And there's a lot that, we don't hear because these are just the prayers between him and God, things like asking forgiveness for any sins and making sure that he's pure before he offers the Mass and stuff. So it's like these boys, and I've seen some kids who, it's not that they're irreverent or anything, but these boys just show so much worship in just a beautiful, quiet, inobtrusive way. When they bow to the tabernacle where Jesus is in repose, they bow with so much reverence. And it's not just like a little curt, oh, I have to do this. This is part of the thing. It's they really love Jesus. And watching them serve at the altar just really, really inspires me to love God more. And all the things that they do, they're just small things. They're not these huge things, but it inspires me to love God more. And I just think that God feels their love for him. And so it just reminded me of this quote, do small things with great love. St. Therese of Lisieux said that. And I think that St. Teresa of Calcutta was also, she quoted that quite a bit too. St. Therese, when she was talking about this kind of concept, and she talked about it a lot, so I'm just going to give like one example, but I heard that she said this, and that it just, for some reason, this particular thing just really, really inspired me in a lot of areas. And she said, if I pick up a pin, P-I-N, like just a little tiny sewing pin, if I pick up a pin and put it back in its place out of love for God, out of worship for him, it's an act of worship because God made a very organized universe, and I'm helping to bring one little tiny piece of that universe back into order. And I just thought, wow, that is so awesome. At that time, I was trying to get my house into order. I still am, really. It's a lot better now because I've had a friend that has really, really helped, and my cousin came down for a while to help me too. When my husband died, I was so depressed that I just didn't really do anything for a while, and so my house really got out of order, and it was very overwhelming. But anyway, so when I started trying to work on that, and I was still so overwhelmed, it seemed like such a huge task. And I heard of St. Therese saying this, do small things with great love. It was like I could, just take the smallest task, just picking up one paper or filing one thing or cleaning one dish or putting away one dish. That one thing can be an act of worship. It's just beautiful. And it's not just automatically an act of worship just because you do it. It's like you need to do it out of worship. You need to do it with great love for Jesus. And that's what these boys were doing. And so I just really wanted to capture that. So that's what this is about. And I'll show you a picture of St. Therese here. This is a painting done by a friend of mine. She's become my friend. I ordered from her quite a bit before we started talking, and she became kind of a mentor to me as I was joining the Catholic Church. And I would really recommend that you check out her shop. She has a lot of paintings of saints and stuff, and I love them because they're really bright. She uses the very strongly pigmented colors that I love. And so I've bought quite a few prints from her, but I got this necklace. I can't remember if I got it with this particular frame. I know I have this frame on one of the necklaces that I have from her, but I can't remember if it's the one about St. Therese. And then I also got a picture of St. Therese to put up on my wall and I'm going to do small things with great love under it, because that is just something, I was going to say that's become a huge part of my life. I can't really say that yet. It's something that I want to become a huge part of my life. So anyway, that's what's behind this drawing. And I would love to hear your thoughts about this. I would love to hear some examples of small things that you do with great love. And let's just encourage one another. I love you all. Bye-bye.